Let's get rolling. Hey everyone, hope you're all staying safe, staying healthy. Before we get started, I just want to have a quick mention. 2 of my people in San Diego have both lost people close to them in the last couple weeks. So just want to ask everyone to keep them in their thoughts, or if they're religiously inclined, keep them in their prayers. I don't want to go into it too much more than that to respect their privacy, but that being said, let's get started. Today we're going to focus on range, specifically moving through ranges. So if you look at the way violence unfolds, whether it's sport-based combatives like boxing, mixed martial arts, fencing, kendo, even sport taekwondo, or actual physical violence, physical altercations in the street, whether it be empty hand, knife, machete, impact weapons, people don't square off and stay at that range. In movies they do, in choreographed routines sometimes, in more traditional martial arts, you'll see them maintaining the same range, but when it comes to actual violence, there's an expansion and contraction of the ranges as the violence unfolds. So we're going to be focusing on that. And there's a few different ways that expansion and contraction happens. One is just the natural collision of aggression. 2 guys are moving, or women, or whatever the case may be, are just moving at each other. They collide, they exchange, and they expand and move away from each other. One guy collides into the other, pushes him back, then presses the attack. In that case, it's more of a attack, retreat. Could be that I do a quick disable and move back to reevaluate the situation, or move back to make an escape. But it's important to be comfortable moving through these ranges. And if at all possible, dictating the range the altercation is unfolding at. So we have some new people joining us tonight, so I'm going to keep the knife work fairly basic. It's going to be familiar to those of you who've been here through the beginning. But we're going to take the basic knife work and put it into these range concepts. So the first thing about moving through ranges is you always want to expand your base. And by base, I mean your feet. If I'm moving forward, I don't want to drag my back leg up, then move my front foot. This narrows my base and compromises my balance. If there's something on the ground, a curb, a brick, a stick, whatever the case may be, if I move up here and then go to step forward with my right, or if I'm taking a full step here and I hit that, my feet are close together, my balance is narrow and compromised. So in this instance, if I collide with something on the ground here, I'm going to fall over. Same thing happens moving backwards. If I go to step back here as I move away from an opponent, and there's a curb or something behind me, when I hit that, I'm going to go back, or at least have my balance severely compromised. So when you're moving, right now, we're just going to work linear, moving in and moving out. You want to expand your base, which means you want to, if you're moving forward, you want to pick up your front foot, reach out, then drag your back foot behind. That way, if I am encountering something as I move, I might have a little bit of resetting my balance here, but at least I'm not falling over. And it's the same thing moving back. If I'm moving back, I want to reach back here. That way, if my foot hits something, I can stop, but I can still have my feet underneath me here. So right now, we're just going to move in and move out. So picking up the front foot, don't worry about the knife at the moment. We're going to put that in a second. Pick up the front foot, and any of you who've boxed, this is going to be familiar to you. Right foot out front, unless you're working from a southpaw stance, but I recommend, for reasons I really don't want to get into right now, I might do it in a Q&A tomorrow, that if you're training knife work, you do it with the knife in the right hand, which would mean you want your right leg out front. So pick up the front leg, reach out, expand the base, drag your back leg. Then from here, pick up the back leg, reach back, drag the front leg. So always widening this base, stabilizing as we move. Forward, here, back, here. Forward, here, back, here. Forward, back. Forward, back. Forward, back. Okay. So now, most of the work we've been doing in this series has been working from what in Libre we call the engagement line. The engagement is where most of the violence is going to occur. This range where we can comfortably strike the head and body without really extending out. The reason why we do most of our work at this range is this is where knife violence in the Western world generally unfolds. You don't have a lot of knife-based violence that unfolds from a distance, where we're standing back here and measuring each other like we're dueling on the French countryside. Generally speaking, the average altercation with a blade is going to start between 2 to 3 feet. Usually it's going to happen after dark in some kind of confined space. Usually, and I know I've said this before, for those of you who've been with this series from the beginning, but these are things that bear repeating and bear committing to memory. Generally speaking, the violence will unfold when the aggressor approaches. It'll unfold within 10 seconds of him making contact with me. There are instances where there will be a prolonged argument that escalates and eventually the weapon's produced, you get stabbed. But usually if someone's committed to stabbing, they're going to keep the blade concealed. They're going to approach, maybe do a bit of a quick distraction. Hey man, you got the time? Or hey, what's that? Whatever the case may be. When the tension is diverted, then they're going to jump on you and stab you. Part of this is that people don't want to lose the nerve they've built up to actually stick someone. So they come up, it's a quick, they usually have the blade concealed, it's a quick conversation, then it's a quick stick in here. So if you haven't properly contact managed the situation, someone's gotten into this radius with you, and they're intending to use a knife, statistically, they're not going to show it to you. If someone shows you the knife, they're more likely than not to pass on using it. Meaning they'll display the knife as a compliance tool, whether it's part of a robbery, a sexual assault, kidnapping, whatever it is. They're using the knife to get compliance out of you. If they show you the knife, doesn't mean they won't use it, but they're less likely to use it than if they're keeping it concealed. Someone who's intent on stabbing you will generally keep the knife concealed and use the element of surprise. So that's why we generally start from what we call the engagement line here, because this is where things are likely to kick off. From here, we've been working a little bit moving to the flank, and we'll do a little bit more of that tonight. But there are two other ranges that I want to discuss now. The reason why I'm introducing these now instead of at the beginning is these are less important ranges than getting proficient being in close. So we're going to start from the outside and move in and cover all 4 ranges. So the longest range is what we call the horizon. The horizon is the line at which you can't reach the opponent and the opponent can't reach you. As a general rule of thumb, as soon as someone crosses that horizon, you should be attacking. Now, I should state I'm not a lawyer. This isn't legal advice. I'm speaking strictly on tactics. I should also mention there are combatives instructors that disagree with this. They believe that you should wait for someone to attack you and then try to overcome that aggression from a defensive position and counter them. I am not in that camp. Someone has a weapon, they're displaying intent to use it, they're bearing down on me with lethal aggression and the present ability to use that lethal aggression against me. As soon as they're within striking range, I want to be the one attacking. If I wait for him to attack, now I'm a beat behind him. If he attacks and I have to block that, now I'm in a responsive position. He's dictating the engagement and I'm responding to it, which isn't where you want to be. I want to dictate the engagement, even if he's the aggressor. As soon as the violence unfolds, I want to be the person who starts dictating the engagement. I want to dictate the attack, who's on the offense, who's on defense, the range, control the space, know where my doors are, position myself for an escape, use him, put him between me and a possible secondary attacker. I want to control every element I can to stack the odds in my favor, which means if I'm at the horizon, he's crossing that horizon, as soon as he's within range, actually slightly before he's in range, because I want my knife to meet as soon as he's within range, which means I need to launch my attack as he's moving in, when he's slightly out of range, so that if he's bearing down on me, the blade is meeting the target at the earliest possible moment, putting him on the defensive, both physically and psychologically. I want to take him out of a predatory mindset and put him in a defensive mindset. I don't want him thinking of himself as the aggressor any longer than absolutely necessary. So if I'm at the horizon here, and as soon as he starts to move in, I want to hit him as soon as he comes in. The moment where we can make contact, where my blade can touch his skin, That's the second range. That's the contact line. So horizon, slightly out of range. Can make contact just a few inches closer. That's the contact line. Engagement line is where we usually work for. About 20 inches or so here. And all of this is relative. It's not exact measurements. This is the engagement line. Flanking line is when I get off line here and I'm literally beside him, pressing my attack from the side. So, again, move through these ranges with me. Horizon, contact, engagement, flank. Horizon, contact, engagement, flank. One more time. Horizon, contact, engagement, flank. Okay. So we're going to take a very basic combination now. We'll start at the engagement line because that's where you're going to be comfortable. Just to get a few reps in on the technique, then we're going to start working different ranges with this. So we're going to do an eye spike. For an eye spike, I'm going to chamber the knife to your ear, center line with the opponent's vision. The eye doesn't pick up motion that's in the center of your vision as easily as it does with your peripheral vision. So if you're attacking from the outside here, he's going to have a split second more to react to it because that part of his vision is going to pick up that motion easier. My knife's in line with his eye. It's harder for him to perceive motion and distance from his center line vision. So I'm putting the tip of my knife in line with his eye and shooting straight in here. Now it's important as you hit the eye that it comes back just as fast as it goes out. You don't want to stab and admire your work and then pull the knife out. Every second the knife's away from your body, that's the second your body's unguarded. So snap it out, bring it back. And even if you're doing this slow, you want to make sure that you're not letting it linger on the target here. You don't want to stab, let it linger, and bring it back. Bounce it off the target, even if you're moving slow. Even slower. Never let it linger in the target. So, with the eye spike, chamber to the right ear, shoot it straight into the eye. Usually, generally speaking, we're going to attack the left eye because the majority of the population is right-handed. If I attack his left eye, inhibit the vision on this side, I can move into this blind spot I've created and I press my attack from this side where he can't see the rest of my attack coming. So from now, I'm going to start at the engagement line, eye spike, palm. Strike with the base of your palm, you come to the chin, between the lip and the nose, smash the nose, forehead, or cheek. Me being taller, I generally like to hit the forehead because this can create a concussive effect, create a knockout. Also can snap the head back and expose the arteries in the throat and allow me to get into the vitals here. If you're shorter, it might be too much of a reach to hit this cleanly. In that case, you can come up under the jaw, pop the head up there, press into the throat. So we're just going to hit an eye spike and a palm here. When you attack, sharp, quick exhale. And I know some people feel a little bit silly making the noise as they do this, but it's going to keep your muscles relaxed. It's going to make you more explosive. So when you're in here, sharp, quick exhale. Now, I get asked about this a lot when I bring my left arm, touch my right shoulder, and bring it back here. This serves two primary functions. The main function is it stops my forward energy with my right arm. It helps me snap it back quicker. So it helps my forward momentum stop so I can bring the knife back. The secondary reason is this brings my left arm over my chest and helps protect the vitals in my chest here. So sharp, quick exhale, snapping into your shoulder here, and hit the eye. Now add in the palm. So let's just do this slow. 1, 2. Let's get 10 in very slow for the people who are just joining us tonight. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's get 10 of those in full speed now. Ready? 1, 2, now we're going to move to the flank. So starting in here, we're going to go 1, 2, step. So we're beside the opponent here, getting to the flank line and attack the ribs. So in this instance, what we're training for is I've attacked the high line here. I've attacked his face, and he's gone to bring his face up or bring his hands up to his face to protect himself. When he brings his hands up, he's leaving his side exposed. So I'm transitioning from hitting the face, moving down here to hit the lung. For the lung puncture, we're going to turn the blade horizontal, run it parallel to the ground to go between the ribs and puncture the lung here. So let's just start and isolate that lung puncture now. Stepping out here, and the same rule applies. I'm widening my base as I move. So when I do this flanking move, I'm still picking up my front leg, moving, dragging my back leg back up into position. So we're going to just flank here, lung puncture. Flank, lung puncture. Flank, lung puncture. Flank, lung puncture. Let's get 10 of those in, medium speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now let's put all that together. I'm going to start at the engagement line, go 1, 2, his hands come up, protect his face where we're attacking him. We flank, turn the blade horizontal, go between the ribs, and attack the lung here. This is called blindsiding. We blind one side, step to that side, press the attack from the blind spot. Medium speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 of those, full speed now. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now we're going to take this same basic combination we've done, just work it from a different range. So now we're going to work it from the contact range. Hopefully you're working with some kind of target, whether it's a bob dummy, heavy bag, giant stuffed animal, one of the hoodie bags that Sam from our Mexico chapter created. I posted a video of it yesterday. Contact line is going to be right on the edge of your range. So we're just attacking from a longer range now, but moving in behind that as we do. Bypassing the engagement line completely. Starting from the contact line, 1, 2, getting right to this flank. I don't want to stay back here. If I'm attacking here, I miss these shots, he's coming back at me. So since I'm putting him on the defensive right away, as soon as he's within range, I'm moving to an advantageous position here so I can press my attack, putting his body between myself and his weapon, presuming he's right-handed. So find this range, the maximum of your range. And you shouldn't be leaning too far over your foot here. You should still be maintaining your balance when you're hitting this. Okay? Slowly. 10, half speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now, we're going to do 10 full speed. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so that's going from the contact line, bypassing the engagement line, going straight to the flank. Don't worry too much about the terminology, just keep the principles in mind. So, as a general rule of thumb, the further you are away, the more apt you're going to be to attack on the high line. If I'm on the outside here, I don't want to go straight for a lung puncture here, because I'm bringing my hands low, leaving my head exposed. If I'm far away, I want to attack the face. Keep the fight in the opponent's face, put him in a defensive position, let him know there's a knife in play, give him something to protect. Also keeps my arms elevated, so that if he is countering me, there's barriers between his blade and my vitals. In close, right here, I don't want to necessarily attack high, because now I've got to kind of lean back, compromise my body alignment to get this shot in. Easier to just drive a shot straight into the body here. It's going to be harder for him to see coming. It's an easier target for me to hit, and I can move back. So now we're going to do the opposite. We're going to assume he's in our face. I've really not contact managed well. The opponent's in my face. The situation's escalated. Maybe I've got my blade concealed in my hand. He's going to access a weapon, and I've got to open the engagement from here. So from this range, in close, I'm maybe 10 inches, 8 to 10 inches here. Hit this lung puncture. So here. So after I hit this lung puncture, I'm going to reach back with my left leg, palm, and step back, hitting here. So I can deliver this palm to the face or the chest to shove him back, or at least keep him from following me as I move back. This situation, I'm creating range. Could be there's multiple opponents. Maybe I've got 2 guys in front of me. There's a second guy over here. So I've got to move back here, so I have some distance to take on a bigger threat that's here. Could be that I'm trying to escape the situation. So I'm moving back here, do a little damage to him so I can remove myself from the situation. Whatever the case may be, we're going from in very close lung puncture, palm, eye spike. And so the spike should be right at the end of your range. So we're in here. 1, 2, 3. Let's get 10 of those in, medium speed. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I wasn't counting, so let's do 7 more. So start at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now we're going to do the same thing, full speed, get 10 reps in. Ready? 1, 2. Make sure you're creating that distance. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, this instance, we're expanding the gap. So now, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do what's called bouncing the gap, which means I'm going to create distance, then move back in. So we're in close here. We're going to do the same combination. 1, 2, 3. So I've created the distance here. Maybe in this instance, I've taken stock of the situation. I know that I have to press my attack. He's not done yet. He's mounting to come back after me. I want to keep him on the defensive, so I'm re-engaging him now. Created the distance. Fight's going to continue. So now I've got to move back in here. So we're going to start here. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. So we're at the contact line. Maybe he covered up. He didn't hit my eye shots, maybe. Maybe didn't get a clean lung puncture. He's not disabled. Maybe he's under the influence of narcotics, but he's getting set to press the attack here. So I want to take control of the situation again, enter back in on this high line, and then get my flank. Starting close, expanding, then closing back in. So let's isolate the portion where we're going to close back in. We've already attacked this eye here. So this time we still want to enter in on the high line for the same reasons. I'm at distance. I don't want to lunge back in with a low shot here because I'm going to leave myself exposed. So this time, we're going to get a throat pluck as we move in. So I'm going to move in here. The grip points down, edges in, capping the back of the knife. Moving in here, pull the elbow back to the ribs here. Don't orient the point of the knife towards yourself. If he closes in here, I'll end up impaling myself, especially when the range is changing this quickly and this dramatically. So from here, we're going to step in and get this throat pluck, pulling the elbow back to the ribs to keep the point of the knife oriented towards the opponent. So let's get 10 of those in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now for the rest of the re-engagement here, I'm going to hit this throat plug and check the opponent's right shoulder to inhibit any counter that they might be mounting. So just preemptively blasting this shoulder to knock his right side back, turn his weapon away from me, and expose this flank. So I'm going to go throat pluck here, and then, because we've already hit this lung, come back around and hit the kidney. If you're working with a target where you can't reach around to hit the back of it, just get a second lung puncture in for now. So we're going to isolate the second portion of this combination now. Medium speed. We're going to go throat pluck, check, lung or kidney shot. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 10, medium speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So now, just doing that second half of this combination, what we've just done, we're going to do it full speed. Skip 5 reps of this in, because next we're going to tack it onto that opening. Okay. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so now we're going to put this together. We're in close. Maybe my weapon's concealed, whatever the situation is, we're in close, I'm creating range. Lung puncture, palm, eye spike. From here, throat plug, shoulder check, hit the kidney. So just putting those two combinations together. First combination, 1, 2, 3. Get a couple reps of that in. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I assess the situation. I haven't done enough damage. Violence is going to continue. I don't have an escape route. I need to re-engage. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's 2 simple sets of 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 10 of those, medium speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So I know this is a long combination. I know it's the longest one we've done in this series. It's probably the most complex one we've done. We're going to get 10 reps in full speed. If you're not comfortable doing this technique, do every other one. Just go medium speed. So go half speed, do the first one, third one, fifth one. If you're comfortable with this, hit all 10 with me. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so let's call it there for today. It's a lot to retain. Don't want to oversaturate you guys. Thank you for joining me once again. We'll be here again next week, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Thank you very much. Stay safe, stay healthy.